Hi, I'm Tiffany Markarian from Advantus Marketing, and today we're going to be exploring one of the biggest challenges that business and financial professionals face. It's probably the number one question that I get from professionals out there. They want to have success with finding a target market. They want to have long-term sustainability in a market. But sometimes they'll say, well, I've tried it before, it didn't really work, so I'm not sure if target marketing is right for me. At the end of the day, sometimes the biggest problem that we're trying to solve is the market that you're considering or trying to work right now, is your market really a market in the first place? So let's take a look at this much more closely. This is a good time to either take out your tablet or a yellow pad and follow along with me. There's 4 core ways to build a business. Now there's a lot more than that, but there's 4 core that I always recommend as part of a business plan. And I have them lined up here for you today. We'll talk about target marketing and really explore that definition much more closely. The second one is referrals, getting favorably introduced from folks. The third one is social events. I'm not talking social media, of course that's part of a strategy. I'm talking about community events that you get involved in where you can meet people. And then lastly, it's professional alliances. No matter what industry if you're in, if you can find someone that's also bringing value or service to a clientele that you're also trying to focus on, it's an opportunity to do some joint partnering together or some sharing of mutual introductions to each other's clients. All of these are dynamite business opportunities, but they're all very distinct. And far too often, many business and financial professionals will confuse one of these columns, believing that that's a long-term market. And in reality, it's a great business opportunity, but it may not qualify as a target market. So let's actually look at the target market much more closely. The best definition of a target market that I've seen out there in the marketplace comes from Richard Weilman. He's the head of the Weilman Center for Excellence in Practice Management. Whenever I'm asking an advisor, what market are you focusing on, I'll automatically know if it qualifies as a market, but I'll say, let's ask my good friend James. He always knows the answer if it qualifies as a market. James is an acronym. Richard Weilman's definition of target marketing is it's a defined group of people, markets are people, not products, but a defined group of people that network and communicate together. What does that mean to you? It means that they're regularly getting together for their industry or for a recreational activity or a special interest or cause. It might be a cultural endeavor. It might be we all belong to a fishing club. It could be we belong to the Associated Builders and Contractors for the construction profession. Well, if you're dealing with an organization that networks and communicates, there's our first acronym from our buddy James. Is it something that you can actually join? And at the end of the day, how do you benefit from that? You can specialize in a group of people and really become their go-to advisor. A in his name is, do I have interest and affinity for that market? If it's not something I'm interested in, I'm probably not going to stick with it. The M is, does it meet at least 6 to 12 times a year? Why is that important? If the organization, group, or club only meets once a year, what are you going to do for the 11 other months in the business? You're going to have to look for other prospecting. E, is it economically viable? The cost for admission for me to be a part of this group. If it's thousands upon thousands of dollars, is that going to be economically viable? And lastly, the size. Is there at least 600 members in that market? Because if not, it might be a great business opportunity, but for a long-term finding success in a market, James will help you determine if it qualifies. So let's look at this now that we've got a good definition in the context of the other columns. With referrals, if you don't have a large clientele, but you're getting referrals and recommendations to other people, that's great. But we may not have enough people referring us, so it's a longer runway. Referrals, however, if you get involved in a target market, you've got a lot more people who can refer you. So absolutely boost up those skills. It's the best way to build a business. Let's move over to the third column, our community and social networking events. Seminars are a fantastic way to grow your business. It shows that you're an authority on a topic. But if your strategy is, I'm going to try to get a room at the library and blast market, do emails, do direct invitations, I'm going to try to fill the seats. It's going to be a long runway, and people are busy in their lives. They may not go to a public seminar. It's a great business opportunity. So don't go back to your office and say, I watched this video and this Tiffany Markarian said seminars aren't great. They're fantastic. Let's just not confuse it with a target market. But let's say your market is the Baptist faith, and there's many parishes and churches within your community, and they're looking for an educational program. That is a beautiful way to make seminars work within a target market. You can bring seminars into a market or a corporation. Charitable events are wonderful activities. But if the charity that you're involved in only has one big heart race a year or one big cancer fundraiser, then it's a fantastic business opportunity, but it may not be enough frequency, which is why we supplement with a true target market. Trade shows and expos, most markets are going to have these, but maybe there's a baby fair or a home show going on in your community or a women's health expo. It would be a great business opportunity to meet people in the community. So it's great for prospecting, may not be a long-term market. And some people might say, well, I've got a book club and there's 15 people in it, I'd like that to be my market. 15 people might be a great prospecting opportunity, but it's not big enough to support your market. And finally, let's look at the last column. This is your professional and strategic alliances. And people will say, well, I'd like to get a couple of estate attorneys, that's going to be my market. Well, if you're working with the Estate Attorney Association or through the local bar association and you want to solve their financial needs, then that may be a market. But if you're looking for one or two relationships, that's a strategic relationship. It's not a market, and here's why. Because their clients don't all know each other. You can't become the specialist to their clients, and you have to be introduced to get access. So it's a dynamite business opportunity, but it may not qualify as a market. Today's session was to open your eyes into why sometimes advisors may not have success with target marketing. Some of the best professionals out there have a target market. We know it works. You have to do it correctly. And today we hope to clarify what makes a market really a market and how does it differ from some terrific business and prospecting opportunities out there. I thank you for taking the time to watch with me today. I'll speak with you next time when we explore other strategies to help you advance your business and marketing momentum.